Meeting at 7:21. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And who wants to do the invocation? You. No, I won't do that. Jim, you want to?
I'll do it, yeah. You want to do it before or after the pledge?
After the pledge.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Jim?
Lord Father in heaven, thank you for this opportunity to meet here and do the town's business. Thank you also for the fact that with all its problems, we still live in the greatest country on the face of this earth. And we should all remember that, even in light of all the difficulties we've been experiencing. For all the blessings you give us, we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, Sandy, please read the roll.
Councilman Cavoli?
Here.
Councilman Jeffrey?
Here.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Here. Supervisor Esposito?
Present. Also present is our attorney, Gerard Parisi. Regularly scheduled town board meetings called to order at 7:24, excuse me. Privilege of the floor. At every scheduled town board meeting, the public shall have the right to address the town board during the course of the meeting referred to as privilege of the floor. Members of the public should restrict their comments to items of town business. Although there is no official time constraint, speakers should be considerate of others so that all interested members of the public have an opportunity to be heard. There should be one portion of the meeting dedicated to privilege of the floor near the beginning of each meeting. All remarks, questions shall be addressed to the board. No person shall enter into discussion with a person having the floor. Council members may address any comments during a portion of the meeting referred to as council member comments. Privilege of the floor is opened up at 7:25. Since we only have two in the audience, I guess no comments, so we'll close the privilege of the floor up and call it 7:26. Okay. Highway, Nick Morris Sr. is not here. I don't think he had anything on the agenda. Anyway, we had the bill for overlook. That was $26,000 from the county. We just signed a check for that, so that'll be going to the county. I don't think there's anything. We are going to get some CHIPS funding. I think it's like $2,000. Sandy, I guess we got to get working on that. Is it?
You had to write the check. A copy of the check needs to go, so I did that today.
Okay. I'll be in tomorrow sometime. We can look at it and see what we have to do. Okay. Let's see where I got the reports here. Let's see, this is from the Water Department, Clark Collins, our water commissioner. I might add that Clark is going to be leaving us at the end of October. He's going to retire again. He said he would stay on, off and on, to help Wesley out if need be, on a roll call basis. We wish Clark and all the help that he's given the town this past year. I don't know where we would have been without him, but he said he's interested in retiring again, but he did say anytime Wesley needs help, he would be more than happy to come in and help. So that's from Clark Collins, our water commissioner. And he's got a report here. Gallons pumped, 2,152,100. Maximum daily average, 148,600. Minimum daily average 26,900, daily average 69,400. During the month of August, we had 3 events. Voltage problems on Reuter Drive booster pump station. This was caused by a voltage drop, which was fixed by National Grid. We submitted a bill to National Grid for the services of the electrician, $600, and the extra labor needed $1,500 during the incident, which lasted for 3 days. Wes was our lead person who dealt with the National Grid, and due to his efforts, we received payment in full, which totaled $2,100. Fire hydrant leak repair, we had a fire hydrant that was leaking on Commerce Drive, and Martin and Son was called to the repair of the hydrant. Water main break on Route 7, we had a water main break on Route 7 on Saturday evening, August 29th. The water main was repaired and put back into service. The repair was done by Martin and Son, respectfully submitted. Clark Collins, Water Commissioner. Any comments or anything? Questions about Clark's?
I see it at all.
Thank you, Doug, for being there. We appreciate it. Since there's no other comments on that, we'll go on to the just do that. There it is. Let's see. Code enforcement. Building inspector monthly report. Total permits 5, permits issued 5. Permit inspection fees collected $724.60. Inspections 6. Code zoning inspections 1. Fire inspections 0. Final building inspections 1. Certificate of occupancy compliance 0. Bank deposit report $724.60. Check to supervisor account $900. Checkbook balance as of September 8, 2020, $99.24. Activities and zoning, working on planning and zoning as needed, working on permit final inspection as needed, reviewing plans as needed. Thomas Verini, building inspector. Anything for Tom? Okay. And our dog warden is not here. So we don't have a report from him, and I don't have, did we get a report from the judge, did we? I don't have a report from the judge. And we don't have anything from our assessor, buildings and grounds. We finally got our rent from the state police. They were 5 months behind. They paid May and June last week, and this week they finally paid July, August, and September. So they're caught up. We still haven't negotiated a new lease with them. Apparently, they're not interested in doing a lease at this time. Other than that, I'd like to thank Jack White and his wife came over and they brush hogged the ramp going up and weeded it, and they started around the gazebo. They did that, so I'd like to thank him for coming over and doing that. I know he's not here tonight, he's working, so thank him for that. And other than that, nothing else going on.
On building and grounds, I don't know if you want me to address the computer work that we had done?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
We had major computer work done in town hall. We had to upgrade, everybody is upgraded now to Windows 10. We had a number of units on Windows 7, no longer supported by Microsoft. That's a very dangerous thing, because once a program isn't, an operating system is no longer supported, we have no security patches, nothing. So everybody's upgraded to Windows 10. Some of our computers were 32-bit. We had to upgrade them to 64. So everybody should be up and running. We increased our internet speed. So we actually got a lot of work done the last couple of weeks, and work that had to be done because we couldn't get our added cybersecurity insurance unless we did all these things. So hopefully we'll be good for a little while.
I do have one, thank you, Jim. I do have one thing over here. We have to get our lessons again on workplace violence and sexual harassment. Sandy's done it. They did it on. You did it online, didn't you, Sandy?
Yes.
Yeah, I did the online one too.
You did it online?
Yes.
But you didn't do it yet.
No, I
Doug
didn't.
didn't do it, and Jim and I didn't do it. So maybe we can come over here and three of us, we can do it someday.
We
It
could
takes
come
about
over,
an
yeah,
hour.
we could do it, probably do it in an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long, right?
So that has to be done. I know it has to be done by what, October 15th?
October 9th.
October 9th. So we do have some time, but whenever you want to come over, Jim, we'll set it up. Doug. I know Clark and Wesley did it too, and so did Isla. They did it together. Sandy. Other than that, we held our first budget meeting today, tentative budget, before our town board meeting, and reviewed a couple things with the water department. There's probably going to be some changes in the water department going forward. There's probably going to have to be a rate increase, unfortunately, but we'll get into that at a later date when we decide what the amount's going to be. Got a lot of problems with the water system. Many water main breaks. There was like 13 of them, fire hydrants down. This whole line in front of the town hall from Hangburn Road up to the Rotterdam line is going to have to be replaced. So we're looking at probably going to have to bond something for it. And Gerard, would you explain what they said on there when we met with MBT Bank? I got it so that if we bond, it's only one project at a time.
Well, you have to have a specific purpose. You can't just bond because you might need money for something. You have to have a specific use and purpose for the bond.
Can we have multiple repairs on a single bond?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. As long as they're specified.
That's not what he said though, did he? Didn't he say it had to be for one purpose?
Well, the purpose could be we need to make repairs on these 3 roads.
Right.
As long as it's specified.
And different projects, because that would make, because every bond writer has, you have to pay a fee for every bond you write. We gotta write a bond for each repair job. It's gonna be very complicated and messy. I can't imagine that's the way it is. I mean, we have 3 repair jobs that need done. This is the problem. Total cost for these repair jobs can be around $140,000, let's say, guess. Can we do a bond for the $140,000, repair those 3 items?
Yeah, if you specifically identify.
Identify each item on the bond.
Identify each item.
That would be much simpler, because to
yeah.
write a bond costs money. Every time you write a bond, there's a bond fee, there's a bond writer's fee.
Now, if it was, they're all related too. You can't do like one repair on water, one.
No, they're all
building,
related.
and that might change the
They're all
answer.
related.
If
They're all water
water,
related.
then they're all related.
That would make life easier for us.
He did say that the turnaround on it would be roughly 2 weeks, but we'd have to have a public hearing on it.
No, no public hearing.
For the bond?
No public hearing. Let me take my notes down.
Yeah, he said we had to have a public hearing on it to notify the public.
No, there's
Can
no,
they have
no,
a comment on it?
there's no public hearing, and there's no referendum. There's that estoppel. You put the estoppel language in it, and if the public, I think if 20% of the public objects or something, they can object, but there's no public hearing.
I mean, that clarifies things a lot, because we just had a meeting, finance meeting, and that's completely opposite of what we talked about in the finance meeting. So if that works, like Gerard says, it's gonna be a lot simpler than we thought.
And I had the law out while we were talking to him, and I was matching up what he said, the local finance
Mhm.
law. I mean, that's my note, specifically no referendum.
No referendum, but I thought it had to be a public hearing, he said.
No, you just have to have a public meeting and pass a bond resolution. A
Well, yeah.
borrowing resolution. There's
You
no-
don't have the public
No,
comment on it.
Correct.
But they can comment on it.
That's privilege of the floor, they can comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a public hearing, just with regard to the bond resolution.
Okay.
That makes life a lot easier, Lou. I'm glad we know that before we have our next budget hearing, budget meeting.
Okay. I got it wrong then when he said that.
Well, we had talked about fire districts. With fire districts, it's different. I mean, a lot of times you do have to have the public hearing. Well, with towns and cities, it's different rules. You can't imagine a town meeting or a city needing permission. You know, sometimes you need the money to do a project.
Right,
You
right.
can't have a public hearing every time you're gonna do a borrowing. You would be hearing about them all the time.
And we're in a very precarious situation with our water. We have to make repairs, or we could lose our water system, is what we have no, we've gotta move quickly.
Well, he did say it was roughly a 2-week turnaround on
Yeah, he said from there on it'd be very quick. It would just really be on how quick can you guys have a meeting? Either when your regular meeting comes, or if you need a special meeting.
Well, we've gotta run the math too and figure out, what our, fee increases, how much of that bond, we gotta cover the whole bond. The yearly cost of the bond with our increases. Gotta make sure our increases are enough to carry that load.
The bond's not supposed to be over 5 years either. I don't know if you talked about that.
No, we didn't, well,
It can't be over 5 years?
Correct.
No.
well, that solves
There we
your
go.
issue.
Otherwise it changes, I think it changes, you know, what you're doing.
Well, if it's 5 years, we're gonna get a bond in the 2-point-something range, probably. So that's gonna be cheap. So the fewer years, the lower rate. So actually, that would work because we discussed this. We need to be able to build up money after 5 years.
So we have to specify what the
The
money is
projects.
for.
There's 3 projects that we're gonna do.
Correct.
So each one has to be specified under the one bond.
Correct, and you can't spend any money before you pass the resolution to borrow. And once you spend the money, that's its own thing. So don't make a repair and then think you're gonna put it in the bond.
No,
Right, you gotta
okay.
do the bond
You gotta
first.
do the bond resolution first.
Right.
I would talk to Wes again and get exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah, we'll have a meeting with Wes. We've gotta figure this out.
Because I know I think he highlighted the 3 major things, but there's probably a few other, things that can be done as well to get us caught up on the repairs. And then we can work on building up some cash for when we need it again in 5, 10, 15 years, whenever.
So we're gonna need to meet with him and get this in writing and get this started.
Yeah.
And if we can write a 5-year bond and we can do it at, say, 2.5%, we can certainly raise the rates enough to cover that bond. We should be okay. We should be able to get through this crisis.
Yeah, that needs to be stressed, like how serious of a situation it is. I know you do that
Well,
every
the water
year,
is a
but-
serious situation, and we all know that, and the repairs have to be made. One of the major repairs is the water tank.
Yeah, where you're getting to the point.
Actually.
And the pumps.
repairs
And
on
the
it.
pumps.
Pumps are bad,
Yeah, they have to be done.
and the screens.
What did Wesley say, it was about 52,000?
But no, I think he said 70,000.
70,000?
Yeah, over 5 years, then you do get into a public hearing.
Public hearing, okay, so,
Approve
yeah,
it.
so that'd be good.
So we'd have to keep it under 5 years then.
If you don't want to have a public hearing.
Is there any amount of money in the,
I should take that back. It's subject to a permissive referendum, which is different than a public hearing, but it's more restrictive if you go over 5 years, let's put it that way.
and under 5, anything 5 years or under, then
You can do quickly.
can do quickly. If it's over 5 years, then we have to do
Then there's a permissive referendum.
So we gotta talk to Wes, get the numbers, calculate the numbers and calculate how much we're gonna have to raise rates to cover the cost of the bond.
We'll get the bond going first. 'cause the
Yeah,
rates-
but we gotta know how much we can pay back with a rate increase. To know how many of these projects we can do.
When can you increase rates at any point?
well, it's gotta be in the budget time, right? At the budget,
Okay, so it
we
has
gotta
to
do
be
this at the budget if we're gonna raise the rates.
Yeah, if you're gonna bond, you gotta decide how much you're gonna do, what's the
Yeah,
annual payment gonna be, and you gotta budget for it.
and we gotta budget to make sure we raise the water rates enough to budget it. And we're gonna have to compose a letter, making it crystal clear to everybody in the water district how important this is. And why we're doing this. We have to have rationale, and we have to document that rationale and send a letter to everybody in the water district. They have to get a letter of understanding where we are. Because in that case, hopefully, any reasonable person will understand and accept the fact that we have to do what we have to do.
But a normal house is getting $156 a year is what they're paying for the use of the water in front of their house.
Right, and 50,000 gallons of water.
52
Right, 52,000 gallons of water.
for $156.
Right. I agree with you, but we still have to have a rationale letter that goes out. You've got to make these people understand why the rates are gonna nearly double. We're gonna double the rate, and we can't do that without a letter.
I got 16 cows that drink more than 300 gallon a day in
You
hot
drink it,
weather.
are you drinking our water?
And I'm not. Okay. I'd be paying
That's only affecting people in
pretty
Orange.
big time.
Yes,
Limited number,
yeah, it's not that many people, but we really gotta notify them.
not the whole
Through
town.
the repairs,
About 300.
we've already burned through the 50,000 that the county had given us, donated to the town, making these repairs on the system. And
$156. I'm gonna hook up to that.
that, so we're probably talking anywhere up to $200,000 it's gonna cost to put this back into shape.
Well, that's why I've got a meeting with Wes, let them itemize, and we'll figure it out.
70,000, you said to redo the pumps at the pump house.
We're not gonna put the water towers in this, right?
Yeah, they got it, because the one on Ruger Drive's
It's
got to be
leaking, that's
fixed.
gotta be
The
repaired.
repair, not a replacement, just a
Oh, no,
repair.
no, that's,
If you don't repair it, you're gonna replace it. The water's running right down the side, it's got
Can we
red
Can
coming
we
right
have a
down.
special meeting with the whole council and Wes? I think it would be a good idea, a working meeting. This is serious business.
well, it's gotta be at a budget, it's at a budget meeting, but that's open to the public, anybody wants to come.
We're meeting again on Monday to finish our budget, right?
Well, it's not gonna be finished on Monday.
You could invite us to talk at that meeting.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if maybe Wes can come in.
Well, yeah, well, because that's the tentative budget. We gotta move the tentative to the preliminary at the next meeting, so we gotta get it done, that's why we said Monday.
Next Monday?
Yeah,
On the agenda tonight, you're not doing it tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna move it, but we're gonna get it done. We can make changes right up until the final budget, right?
Now, once you set a public hearing, I think you're supposed to
Right.
keep
that's
it
the-
still until after the public hearing.
Yeah. So we only got a month, so we gotta get going. That's why I
Yeah.
said next Monday.
See if Wes can pop in for a few minutes Monday and we can get some numbers off him.
And I'll tell him and Clark to work on the exact numbers,
Yeah.
what we need. Get it done.
Moving along.
Okay. Meeting minutes. Is hereby resolved that the meeting minutes of the August 11th, 2020 regular town board meeting are approved or as amended. Discussion. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Or a second?
I'll second.
Andy?
Councilman Bavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. General funds claim is hereby resolved the town board approves claims number 157 through number 173 in the amount of $8,887.35. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
All right, Doug, second. Sandy?
Councilman Bavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Water funds claims hereby resolved town board approves claims number 113 through number 123 in the amount of $7,862.74.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Bavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Highway claims. It is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 8 in the amount of $26,878.82. This is about the replacement of the culvert up on Overlook Drive. The county did that at their rate. So Discussion on
I'll make a motion.
it? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolny?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Highway transfer, is hereby resolved, the town board approves the transfer of $26,878.82 from account number 99019 to account number 5031. Discussion, is there a motion? Second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolny?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Is hereby resolved in accordance with the provision of section 106 of the town law and other applicable provisions of law, the town board of the town of Princetown approves and adopts the 2021 tentative budget as the 2021 preliminary budget. Such preliminary budget will be filed in the office of the town clerk where it is available for public inspection, and the town board of the town of Princetown will meet October 13th, 2020 at 7 p.m. at Princetown, 165 Princetown Plaza, Schenectady, New York, 12306, to hold public hearing on the aforementioned preliminary budget. The town clerk shall give legal notice in the Daily Gazette of the public hearing at least 5 days prior to the public hearing. The public notice shall be posted on the town sign board at least 5 days prior to the meeting. Is there any discussion? Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
For a second?
I'll second.
Andy?
Councilman Pavolny?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. We're gonna be having a workshop this Monday at 6 p.m. If anybody, public is invited to it, because it's, if they wanna attend, there'll be no, privilege of the floor at it, but, we're gonna be working on the preliminary budget, the tentative budget, to move to the preliminary budget. We've got some other things that we're gonna have to discuss on it.
The sound ordinance, where do we stand with that? I see
On what?
the sound ordinance, were we gonna,
The noise
the
ordinance.
noise ordinance? Are we gonna work on that, or wanna
I don't know.
for another month, or what are we doing?
Do we, I know you worked on this, I don't know about this, maybe we should open that up for discussion. Do we really want to get into a lengthy thing on this, noise ordinance in our town? I don't know. Ben, I don't know what you think
Well,
about it.
I've wanted it since I
You
came
do?
here 6 years ago to ask for it. Yeah, I had fireworks out friggin' Sunday night till like midnight around my house. Yeah, I'm done with it. I want the noise ordinance, of course. Yeah.
The only problem is, who's going to enforce it? We don't have a police force.
Well, so the county enforces it, the county police.
Sheriffs.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Your county
yeah.
will do it? That's, you're talking sheriff's.
Sheriff's.
Yeah, just like they could pull somebody over in Princetown for speeding or whatever, I mean, it's the same thing. Any town law, they can enforce, I would imagine, right?
If you're gonna rely, most of the laws are set up where code enforcement enforces that kind of stuff. If the plan is that the sheriff's department enforces it, we should get their input.
Have an
on this
agreement
thing,
with them.
because, these are difficult things to deal with. They're,
So-
how many decibels, and, they're not clear-cut things, and I don't know that they have the manpower that they're.
So I wrote this to
cooperative.
kind of avoid the decibel issue, which is how Rotterdam had it set up. They only have one reference to decibels in the whole thing. So if there was like a domestic violence dispute, who takes care of that? We have no laws on
Well,
that.
that's not under code enforcement, that's under a different set of laws. And if we're passing a law, this would be a zoning law. So typically, it's,
You're talking criminal law, as opposed to code enforcement law. The big- There's a big difference there.
There was a difference. So one time, when I called about a noise problem, Schenectady County came out and told me we can't do anything because you have no Princetown noise ordinance. If you did, I could do something, is what he told me.
yeah, I'm just saying, we should get their input. Because if they're gonna be enforcing it, probably a good idea to let them see what the law is first, to see if they see problems with it, the way we're writing it. And also, the first step is to forward it to the planning board for their recommendation approval. So you guys all have to agree on the exact language, or if you want to make any changes to the draft Ben did. And then me and you should sit down and go through it once we get to that point, because I gotta kind of make it a little more legal, the way it's written, but I don't want to do it until everybody comments on things they, at least generally what you liked and what you didn't like in his draft.
So we're not gonna, obviously, we're not gonna do anything tonight on that, so it's just a matter of reviewing that again.
Well, if you already looked at it.
Yeah, I have, but,
Well, what are you saying? They had fireworks for every night or?
Do that? No. It was since July 4th, maybe 4 or 5 weekends since then.
But it really depressed you with that?
It's just fucking loud, and when it's midnight and I'm trying to sleep, I don't want to be woken up by fireworks when it's not July 4th. I don't care if it's July 4th. I don't know. I've had a lot of other noise issues that's,
You ought to, used to go back when we used to have the warnings when somebody got married.
we have some noise control in, for instance, we've had the dog, control officer respond,
right for barking.
complaints of barking dogs, we have that. That's in the process. I get the same thing, to be honest with you. I get, people do fireworks, but by the time you complain and the sheriffs respond and they get there 9 times out of 10, they're over. They generally don't last all night, but I don't know, I think what our attorney is saying, though, makes sense. We're gonna have to, consult with the sheriffs if they're gonna be the enforcement agency. We can't just assume they're gonna do that for us without consulting with them and seeing what they think.
Is that typical when you pass a law like this?
Well, bigger town, you've got coding, you got more paid staff, the code enforcement would enforce it.
Right.
That's the way, like, most towns are set up, it's right in the zoning, that code enforcement has the authority to.
Well, who would respond to a complaint then? It would be the
Well, our
police.
police, like Rotterdam has a police department,
Right, they would
so
respond.
Rotterdam police would go.
They could, or your code enforcement person could go.
I didn't know that
Tom,
was within
Tom,
his scope
great.
of his job.
Yeah, well, he's on away. He's only part-time.
Yeah.
Summertime, he's up,
He's at Saratoga all summer.
Lake George, he's up there every weekend.
Yeah, you don't have a full-time staff here, that's why.
You don't have anybody full-time to do it, so you'd have to rely on the sheriff's department.
My experience with them has been good, so.
With,
Alls I'm gonna tell you is Amador lives down on Gifford Church Road over the bridge, okay? They have a fireworks that's better than Altamont Fair had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now you have Horvath, which is gone. They're not there. They used to compete back and forth from one to the other, okay?
Yeah.
It would lit the whole town up. I understand you want to sleep, but I have 16 cows, 3 Belgian horses, and they went around that field, and I thought I was gonna be chasing them on Bangor Road. And I've lived here 71 years, and we used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if it was 4th of July, if it was a warning for somebody that just got married, which I know you guys don't understand that, okay? But ask Barbie blessing, okay?
and we get a lot of gunfire in town too. There's days when I hear gunfire all day.
So you're gonna have to work with Ben on that?
Well, has everybody here looked at it? Does any of the board, because I don't want to send it to
Briefly,
the,
I did.
I looked at
is there any,
it. I didn't see anything glaring.
okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty reasonable.
Okay. Well, and I'll work on it with Ben, and then,
Okay.
once we get it final, we'll have to send, we'll put a resolution to send it to the planning board.
It has to go to the planning board?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's their comments on
It's just the law, the way the law is written, you have to send it to them for a report and
Isn't that
recommendation.
what most ordinances?
They don't vote on it.
All of them?
They'll vote on whether they recommend it or not. You don't have to follow it. You're supposed to give an opinion.
I just didn't want you to think we forgot about it. I know that we've been dealing with this and it's in our packet and
All right, then, you can work with him on it.
Once we get a draft, we should get somebody over the sheriff, to at least let them look at it before we throw it out.
Have to
If
send
they're
it
gonna
down.
enforce it.
They're gonna have to send it
Yeah,
down.
I guess so, yeah. Plus, they may enforce other towns, they may have ideas of what works and what doesn't, so.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
So you meet the board, the board,
Cool.
you and I.
Yeah, because we gotta finalize a draft.
So there'll be a resolution at the October meeting to send it to the planning board.
Correct it, so then we get to it quick enough. Yes.
Okay. And then planning board says yes or no, we can decide whether we want to listen to them or not.
we don't
You
have
just
to
said it's a
follow.
recommendation, we don't have to follow it.
Okay. And then,
We have a public hearing.
okay, and you can pass it that night. After the public hearing, right?
Probably.
Got to
Unless,
post it.
unless changes are made, yeah.
It's got to be posted. 10 days, right?
Yeah, before the public hearing, yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't give you enough time, does it?
Well, we're not even close to it yet, we still have to send it to the planning board, and when they get back to you.
Oh, yeah, so you're talking a couple months.
Yeah.
Because they meet the fourth Tuesday, or fourth Thursday of the month. Okay. All right. Anything else? Doug, you got anything?
No.
Ben? Jim?
The newsletter is being roughed out right now. Anybody who would like to contribute anything, comments, concerns, articles, and they could be anything. I mean, I'll even put recipes in. Always looking for contributions. It's not my newsletter. I wind up writing most of it, but it's not my newsletter. I would love people to contribute. You know, I know that when Martha, I used to chat with her, and she used to love to tell me stories, and I'd sometimes put some of her stories in. But I'm roughing that out as we speak, so. Anybody out there anywhere who would like to put anything in? I know the sheriffs are supposed to meet with me. They want a page this time around, so I'll get a hold of them.
Did everybody see the sign out there coming in the driveway? Nobody noticed that?
Yeah.
You noticed it, did you see it?
What's that? What is it?
As you come in, right by
The new
the
sign.
the sheriff's driveway? You didn't see that?
No.
You didn't? Did you see it?
I'm surprised I saw it.
Well, the sheriff's department called me and they wanted to put a sign up that said, sheriff's department this way, state police this way,
Oh, yeah.
town justice, and Princetown offices straight ahead. It's a really nice sign that they put up, and they paid for it. I offered to see if the board wanted to contribute to it, and the sheriff said no, it wasn't Dominic, it was one of his assistants or one of the other sheriffs that did it, and they put the sign up. I wish everybody would see it as they come in.
I know what you're talking about now that you mentioned it.
And it's really, really nice. It's a really nice sign, they did a great job on it, and I thank them for it. I just wanted everybody to know that it's there, and it was done by the sheriff's department. So, I think that was a nice gesture on their part. I'd like to thank them for it. All right, nothing else? Oh, Ben, do you have anything?
Sorry I'm late, for one.
That's okay.
And I only had one this month, which was a repeat call about a dog. got loose over on, right off of, I can't even think of the name, I think it was on Reuter. So I talked to him and talked to the owner and said that if the dog is found again on somebody's property, that I'll have to ticket her for the dog being loose. Dog's licensed, has vaccines, so just gets out every now and then. A little beagle likes to run around and then keeps running into the guy's property and he's getting aggravated because he wanders in the flower beds and all that, so. Yeah. And that's it.
Okay. Any questions for Ben? Okay. Well, does, Sandy, you have anything?
No.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the adjourned motion.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gregg?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Close the meeting up at 8:04.